So when I was a kid, it was funny. I didn't care about eating. I eat whatever I wanted, and the pound stayed off. But now as adults, Magnus, right? We have we have to watch what we eat. I guess I don't know. They say depending on the study you read, the average American gains 1 to 5 pounds, or who knows?
Yeah.
I heard it was 1 pound. But anyways, so I mean, what can we do to keep the weight off this season, Magnus? Because you're a trainer, you're a PhD in biochem. I'm a DJ from New Jersey. By the way, hi everybody. It's Wellness Week Live. Hey, and we're not giving any medical advice. Just check with your medical professional. But okay, so yeah, what do you do, Magnus, for like how do you keep the weight off or manage?
So I kind of stick to my like same rules as always. Eat when you're hungry. Try to stay physically active still. I usually like, especially when I spend my Christmases back in Sweden with my family, we usually went for like our dog walks in the middle of the day. And we used to walk because it gets dark early. So we walked usually like 2 or 3 hours. Like we went out for a hike and just kept on going in the forest and stuff like that. So that's one thing. But I mean, it comes down to like portion size, eat like, and also like eat, like I usually start out with protein, fill yourself up with protein. Then you can eat kind of the not so healthy stuff later on. So you're eating kind of nutritious and fill up. And
well, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, and then it comes down to like Christmas. Like Christmas is not like 2 months. Right. Christmas is like a weekend or a couple of days, depending on where we're at.
Well, it's funny you touched upon about like, when you were growing up or even now, you go out for a hike, maybe on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, after or before you eat. I think what I'm about to tell you is that unfortunately the typical American way, especially, hey, I'm Italian. So what we do, like probably everybody in America, most people at least, we gorge ourselves, and then what do? We sit down on the couch, we watch the game. But unfortunately, that's not a Christmas tradition. That's an every weekend tradition for most Americans. In my family too, when I was a kid, I look back now, I'm like, damn, bro, we gorged ourselves on pasta bread. I mean, every older person in my family now, or adult almost, has diabetes because we were raised that way, and this is what most Americans do too, and we did it too growing up. My grandparents and mom and dad and aunts and uncles, and it's just sad. It's like, wow, after gorging ourselves, what we should have done was, to your point, get up, go for a walk outside, but this is how cancer and diabetes and heart disease risk, start. And anyway, so that's kind of cool that you guys did that. And, I definitely am more concerned and more aware of this. And I'm not saying people don't enjoy, of course, have whatever. Us Italians, we have our lasagna, the 7 fishes, but maybe go for a little walk around the block afterwards or something like that. Digest. And by the way, real Italians from Italy, that's what they do. After they eat, they go for a walk. All the Italians in Italy do this stuff. Anyway, so let me ask you this. So Magnus, when you were, well, what's your favorite Christmas meal? Like, and I don't want to make this show about like don't enjoy, but what's your favorite Christmas meal?
So I'm very like, we in Sweden we have a very traditional like we have something called julbord. When you translate it, it's basically Christmas table. So it's a buffet. It's a smorgasbord, like as the word smorgasbord comes from Sweden or Scandinavia at least. So it's usually like you have meatballs, of course, a lot of different fish like salmon and different types of salmon, and then we usually eat some like sausages, and we have the Christmas ham and things like that. Right. And to be honest, my mom cooks a really good Christmas ham from scratch. So like it's not nothing fake there at all. I mean, she's doing it everything from like brimming it, putting it in salt and water, and then it sits. So yeah, and that's something that she learned from her mom. So so that it's really, really good. So I really enjoy that kind of like you pick and choose. You have a couple of things, but again, you like nowadays, at least, I'm not like filling up several plates of food. I usually like eat a little bit here, a little bit there, and I'm kind of happy.
Yeah.
What
And I would
about
tell
you?
everybody, go into Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, whatever, go into it with a plan. Now you may break the plan, but at least have some kind of idea, because
Yeah.
your body doesn't care that it's the holidays. Your body's going to punish you if you do this to yourself this week coming up. So enjoy, but have a plan. I always like to load up on water before I go out or before I eat. This way I kind of already feel a little bit full. But anyways, my favorite meal growing up was on Christmas Day. And I don't know if this is I don't know if this is an Italian tradition from Italy, but I know that in our house, lasagna was what we had on Christmas Day, and that's my favorite dish. Probably a lot of Italians, but so it was just lasagna for us, and we all ate that. The night before was the fish, your eel, your whatever the heck, flounder, yada yada. So my favorite dish is lasagna. Now, what's your favorite dessert dish for Christmas?
Oh, again, like it's funny when it comes to, again, we don't really have a specific like Christmas, but we like Christmas dessert, but we have a couple of things that I do enjoy a lot. So we have this. It's basically a wheat bun, but that has what's the word of it? Yellow spice. What's it called? Super. It's expensive. I can't.
Saffron. Saffron.
Saffron. Yeah, saffron. So it's there for a saffron bun, and they usually have like raisins in them too. But now they have like upgraded them, so they're crazy. So they have it with like almond paste, and it's really really good.
That sounds like the Italian version is called panettone. Panettone is the same exact kind of thing what you're describing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Italians love that.
I think it's kind of like a lot of our things are from like mostly from Northern Europe, but then we have a couple of things from Southern Europe too that kind of like merge into Swedish society over like a couple of hundreds of years. So
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it definitely sounds a lot healthier, unfortunately, than the American Italian Christmases, where again it was just pasta. Or the fish is good, but the pasta on Christmas Day, the bread, the pastries. I mean, no wonder everyone's got diabetes. But for us, my favorite dessert would be like Italian pastries, which is like for Christmas we would have a cannoli or a thing called sfogliatelle, which is a flaky pastry. So that would be that. And I was drinking coffee since I was 2, so I'd have my little coffee and my cannoli, and that was a great Christmas Day dessert. This year, my grandparents have long passed away, and aunts and uncles have passed or moved, but so it's not so Italian-y anymore, unfortunately. But my current rendition of my current family is also great, of course, and we just have different traditions, and we still have the cannolis and whatnot. But yeah, we do the ham actually. One of my sister-in-laws does ham, which I love ham. You love ham, right?
Yeah.
Love ham. Yeah. So now let me ask you, what was one of your favorite Christmases growing up or now? Like, what was a year or an age when you really like, wow, that was a good Christmas? Which one?
So I think that like Christmas is definitely the holidays for kids, right? So I definitely like remember back like as a kid having Christmas, the excitement and things like that. That's what I really, really remember with Christmas and what I kind of think about it. Like I would say one of the best Christmas that I had like lately was probably when I was living up in Portland, and my mom and my sister came to visit me over Christmas and New Year. So we could kind of keep our family traditions, but we did it in Portland instead. As a kid, the one that really sticks out was when I got my snow racer. It's called a snow racer in Sweden. So actually, it's kind of a sled, but it has like you can have steering, and it's like it's cool. And I remember I was probably around like 7 or so when I got it, and yeah, I put a lot of mileage on that. So we always go to like a hill and go like downhill, walk down go downhill. So we did that for like hours and hours on end.
We did the same thing. They call it sleigh riding or sleds or toboggans. We same thing. Growing up in New Jersey, depending on where you live in Jersey, a lot of hills, a lot of mountains. So we would love same exact thing. We would spend hours as children. Yeah, for me, Christmas, probably like everybody, being a child was my most memorable Christmases. I mean, this Christmas is going to be good, and I've had good Christmases as an adult. But the ones that really kind of stick in my mind, and again, I think I speak for most people, is when you were a child, right? Because it was all real. Let's just leave it at that. I don't want to ruin it for the young people watching. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, and then my grandparents and my cousins and everybody was, it was that very Italian household, by the way. In my older years, Christmases, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but in my older years, Christmases have gotten very quiet, at family functions and stuff, and it's just nowhere near as fun. It's like I'm all about, you probably know this, Magnus, I'm a very loud person, and it was just like a Christmas of 10, 20 me's, everyone's yelling and, like a very, very, very kind of, Italian. Everyone's kissing and hugging. Hey, see, come sta? And 90 frigging conversations going on. And in my opinion, that's how I roll. That's what I love. To each his own. Some people, and I've been to other, I'm not to get into too much detail, but there's been other years in my life where Christmas is, again, different traditions, different cultures, very quiet, and that's fine, but that's not how I roll. I like it loud. I like it boisterous. I like, the food and the drinks are flowing. And so unfortunately those days are gone, but and again, not that Christmases are not good now. Christmas time is good now too for me, but those are my favorite Christmases as a child. My grandparents were alive, and we didn't have a lot of money, but everybody was there, and it was just,
for sure.
And I think I speak for everybody, kind of, like that.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I think that like speaking about that, I mean, so my mom's dad, my grandpa, his birthday was on Christmas Eve, and we celebrate on Christmas Eve. So we always started out like having like birthday cake at their place, and then we usually ended up staying at most of the time at our place or some other relatives. But my dad, he worked in the restaurant industry, so he was kind of like overdone with Christmas food. So we always started eating like weird stuff. Like why I'm telling this story is that I think nowadays, I think it's important that people kind of create their own holiday and how they want to do it. Like if you want to keep it super traditionally or whatever your family is doing, or if you want to bring in things, you said maybe you want to go down to the pizza parlor and buy pizza. If they're open, it's fine. Like
I agree with you. A lot of people
do themselves what they enjoy doing.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. You probably hear this too with friends and family of yours. Like, oh, the Christmases were so much better back then. It's not like it used to be. And I have to stop people. I say, listen, things are not like they used to be, but it doesn't mean that the current Christmas or the current situation is not good. It's just different. So I have to tell myself that too, because sometimes I get down. I'm like, oh man, I wish my nonna and nonno, which means grandma and grandpa in Italian, I wish they were still, oh man. But then I have to stop and say, Anthony, this time is great too. This is different, and there's a lot to be grateful for. And like you said, starting new traditions and new, like I always think, well, when my grandparents were alive, well, my nieces and nephew weren't. So now I have nieces and nephews that I can see. So it's just different, And so, but yeah, you start new traditions and, but the older I get though.
Yeah, same thing I was going to say. I was going to say now it's more just like being able to hang out with people. That's how I see it,
Yeah. And the older I get, and I don't know if I speak for you. I mean, you're married. I'm not, and ladies, I'm single. But you're married. I'm not, and just got to throw it out there. But when you're married, you kind of have to acquiesce and be flexible. There's one good thing about being single in the holidays, and I'm being an older person now. I don't have to do shit. I don't have to answer mommy and daddy. I don't have to work out stuff with my wife or a girlfriend. Like I do me, man. If I don't want to be here, I'm not going to go, whatever, like that's that. And I'm not saying, don't get me wrong. It's nice to have somebody special in your life and kids. I get it. There's pros and cons to everything. But as I get older, I find myself like, you know what? F that. I ain't going over there. Screw them, so it's kind of cool too, in a way. But when I look back, I don't know about you, but I also think when I was a kid, right, and I was just telling you like, oh, how great it was with my grandparents. But I look back and I said to myself, I'm not going to name names, but there were people in my family, certain extended family, that I look back and I'm like, shit, they didn't want to be there on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. And it kind
Yeah.
of annoys me because I'm like, wait, was I living a lie? Was I living a facade? And I kind of was. When you're a kid, you're not privy to the backdoor politics of family and, oh, she doesn't like her, he doesn't like him, and he's only here because of her. Like when I was a kid, I thought, wow, everybody wants to be here and this is great. As I got older, I'm like, oh, no. That particular person couldn't stand this side of the family, and that person could. And I was like, oh shit. So now as I gotten older, I'm like, yo, like I ain't playing that game. Like I don't want to be part of something where people feel obligated. I'd rather be home alone staring at the wall than play a facade. I'm not doing that shit. So, but as a child, you don't know. So you're just like, yeah, whatever. But I don't know. That's that. But yeah, that's another tip, by the way.
Well, I mean, it's
you gotta
I don't
figure
know,
out
like before I moved to the States. I mean, many times, I mean, we had dinner then together. Like we spend the day. I mean, depending where we were at. If we were like close to home, like in Stockholm or whatever, I usually went home and then like it's so full and like just kind of like not like exploding full, but you had enough. Then you just getting like a little bit of a food coma, and I'm just like watching some movie, like some Christmas movie on TV, and just like in the couch, and then like I could fall asleep here, just taking it easy. And I think that it's like it's nice to be able to do whatever you feel like, and then I think that's also the thing that a lot of people it becomes stressful because they have to fulfill so many.
They can't say no. They can't say no to people.
Requirements, like have to see people here, and I think that they like that takes out the joy. Also, I mean, you have to kind of like sometimes you have to be able to say no to certain things too, 100%. And also take that battle.
I agree with you. I used to hate certain times in my life where, okay, we have to go here, then we got to go here. It's like, am I enjoying the holiday or am I working? Like if I'm, so now, yeah, I go to one spot and that's kind of that. And I chill and it's a nice place to be, and people feel obligated, but I don't know. I mean, it's like when I DJ weddings, they always say like the bride and groom are the only two people that don't enjoy the wedding because they're busy saying hello and thank you to every single table that they don't even get a chance to enjoy their wedding. Yeah. And I'm like, that's kind of sad in a way, it's like, it's their day or any holidays. It's like, but hey, people, you got to do what works for you. Also have a game plan going into the parties because you don't want to argue with this one or that one. Keep a healthy distance. Hi, how are you? Don't get lured and baited into talking about politics or religion or any hot issues. Okay, thank you. I gotta
change the topic. Like
walk away, sit in the other end of the room, and this could be your mother, your father, your brother, your sister. Like, just prepare, have a plan what you're going to eat, and have a plan of what and how you're going to say and do. It'll make your life a lot easier. Even if you break away from the plan, have some kind of plan. Because you don't want to fight during the holidays and stuff like that. And unfortunately, it kind of happens to some people. But anyway,
yeah, no, I mean it's like, and this is hard too. Like, be the better person, but definitely if the conversation gets into things that you don't want to talk about, just change it straight away. Because like we always know with the family, it's like, oh, when are you going to get married? Do you have a boyfriend? Or you, especially when you're single, when are you going to have kids? When are you going to grow up and take responsibility? When are you going to get a real job? Whatever it is, like, you do not have to answer these questions. You're not getting, you're not sitting in and getting interrogated at like by the military or by the police, just change the subject or say that, oh, I have to go do this, or I have to make this important phone call. Or
I got to go take a shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You can, that does like, and I have to go number 2, like just walk away.
That's right.
No, and I think that is important. Like, and I think that would make it like way more enjoyable for most people too. Like it's okay to kind of talk about, kind of blend things about.
Or keep it moving. Know your spots, and also too, I'm sure you had this pressure. Like it's like if you're especially married or got a significant other, it's like what do you call it, arms race? Like, oh, I got to spend a lot of money on the gifts. I got to spend a lot of money on the gifts. I can't. There were years I was like, no. I'm not buying anybody more than a $50 gift or $100 gift. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to get into this stuff. And even this year, it's like, hey, I could give more, but last time I checked, it's Jesus' birthday, not yours. So like, $20 here, maybe something like that. But I'm not going like, and then plus most of the shit that you give people, they're never going to use. They don't even need it. Like,
and I was going to say that like for kids, like there's no need to buy 20 different gifts, like because the curtains come down, they're gonna play with 2 things,
right?
Like, and the other 18 things are gonna like just collect dust,
right? And
you're better off. Then you're better off like, okay, let's divide this up for like several weeks or whatnot, and have them open gifts throughout.
Yeah.
But like, it comes down to don't buy people or show that you care about them by expensive gifts. Actually, like spend time with them, talk to them, and the important things in life.
100%. And don't complain, folks, that you're in debt because of Christmas. Like, hey, that's your own choice.
That's the worst you can
people do it, but I know a ton of people do this. Shut your mouth then. Don't complain you're in debt. You're doing it yourself. Stop. So don't complain. But anyways,
one thing, talking about gifts, what was your best like Christmas gift
in my life up till now? I'm 49, so for 49 years of my life, Magnus, I don't know about you, but honestly, like I grew up pretty poor. Like there were points where we were on welfare, so like it was bad. Like not. I call it American poor. Like we were in Calcutta, India poor. We're like running sewage is like splashing on our face. But I mean, like we were, we really didn't have not to go down this rabbit hole, but you're hitting on nerves, Magnus. But like there was Christmases that I remember as a child, like getting like not G.I. Joe. I got like G.I. Ho. Like it was like the and I
off-brand stuff,
dude. And I felt like. I remember one year, and I was a child, like, and I was just like, oh, like, and it was only like 2 gifts under the tree for me, and it was like, and you get bombarded with the media even back then in the 80s and 70s and 80s and 90s and the 80s for us, like, toys and this and that, and you have the latest He-Man, and I was like, wow, like, I really felt like, I look back and I'm glad it happened because life is tough, folks, okay? And I'm not saying we should try to, come down hard on our kids and stuff. But I hate to say it, when you have some adversity in your life, and I get it, nobody wants adversity, but when you do,
we need it. Everybody needs adversity in their life.
It makes you better.
Or create it.
It makes you better. So I look back at that disappointment I had on a couple of Christmases, but one in particular with the G.I. Ho instead of G.I. Joe. And I was just like, what? Like and then I would always from that Christmas on, like kind of almost not want to get gifts from whatever Santa or family. But anyways, best gift, not to go down that road, but best gift. What's funny too, Magnus? I'm sorry to say, I always got more from giving gifts. Like I always love to watch people's expressions than me getting them. But for me, my best gift, you know what? Many, many years ago, I got this great gift from my ex, actually, which I wore today. It's a beautiful, it's probably one of my best gifts ever. It's a beautiful, like Russian fur hat. It's like real fur, and bro, this thing is bulletproof. I mean, like I've gone out 10 below zero. It's certain, and it's like nice and warm. And when I wear it, nobody has this hat, dude. Like, I mean, unless you spend the money. And so big shout out to my ex. She probably threw some serious dime on this, but yeah, like it's a statement. Like I walk into a Starbucks with this thing on and it's like, whoa, it looks like I'm wearing a lion, and it's real fur, real, real fur. So it's just, and it fits my personality because I love attentions and I have no qualms about, I don't give a shit what people think. So like, when I roll in with that hat and people, you've seen it before, like people have it, but it's like, just like, it's usually the cotton. It's like the cheap little flaps that go in the ear like that. You see, they sell at Old Navy, but what I have is again the flaps, but it's fur, so it comes out to here and it goes up and it's just huge. Anyways, so I always get comment, oh my God, where'd you get that? I'm like, yeah, man. It's a,
I love
anyways,
it.
that was probably in my life, I would say it's a gift that I love. It's a gift that's quality. It's a gift that I can use.
Exactly. Like
But
something that you
guys are
can
different
use
than
for an
women. Women,
experience it's those are the best things.
yeah, but women are different. Women don't want usage per se. They just want, oh, I want the diamond or the gold, and they'll put it in the closet. Anyways, what about you? What was one of your best gifts?
Let me see. Like it probably comes down for like I've received some good gifts throughout the years. So I'm like when it comes down to Christmases, I to be honest, I had like great time. I can't really remember like a bad Christmas, so to say, even as an adult. But I mean, like I think the one that I brought, like the snow racer thing, because like that was such a I basically went out straight away. I wanted to use it straight away, and my mom was basically, no, you can't go out. You have to wait until tomorrow morning, and like up at dawn and you're out, like, yeah. So that's it's just that it's like I probably like my memory, it's probably making it even bigger than it was.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Now,
no,
what about best gift you ever gave someone? That, like, for me, it wasn't it wasn't necessarily the most expensive gift, but many years ago, my father is a computer kind of nerd a little bit, and I got him like the latest Apple computer, and him and my mother, they're on a fixed income, they're senior citizens, so he's always had his eye on this Apple. So I got him an Apple, and it was funny because watching him tear open the box, I'm like, what is this guy, 10 years old? Like, my father's somebody who has no emotions. He's a war veteran, he's an orphan, he's a real hard dude. But yeah, like, I'm like, holy shit, Dad. Like, I've never seen him with a personality. Like, he's like opening the box and oh my God. I was like, oh, okay. So that was like probably the best gift I could give somebody. It wasn't the most expensive gift I ever gave, but it was like the best reaction. I was like, whoa, okay, that's awesome. Like, what about you? Like a best reaction or gift?
I mean,
You ever
I also have to think about that for longer, but I do remember like when you're actually like giving one that is actually like a thoughtful gift that they don't even know that they need. Right. So one year I bought, I think it was a friend of mine that I bought, like, and it wasn't the same thing, nothing expensive, nothing fancy. It was a backpack, but it was like, oh man, yeah, no, this is perfect. I need to go so I can have my hands free and like all those things. So yeah, no, that was one thing that I like. Remember that. And the person used it for like years and years to come too, Yeah. So that's a good thing.
Magnus, I got to give you an alley-oop. And of course, every single gift you ever bought your wife was the best gifts. I mean, come on, Magnus. I mean, yeah.
Of course. Yeah. But to be honest, we're not doing too many gifts, neither of us. So
yeah, I'm not into that.
We're trying to be smart about it. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, one of like, if we're looking at that, one of my best Christmas gifts is like actually meeting my wife. So
whoa,
yeah, no, I mean, it comes down to it, like, and it's the same thing, like seeing also her like family's Christmas traditions. I mean, because her family's from Mexico originally. It's funny because everything kind of clashes in the old weirdest things, because I bring like Swedish things in, they have the Mexican, we have the American. So it's our Christmases are like different in our own way. So which is good.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
man,
but it's the same thing. Like, it probably comes from my dad, like with the food, and we're starting like doing weird stuff. And another thing, when saying about that, there's like weird Christmas trees ornaments. That's another fun thing that we used to do, like that I used to do before. So each year we used to buy like one or two new pieces. And yeah, no, it ended up like super, super weird stuff. I got, like the candy M&Ms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a Christmas light, like the light string with the M&M figures like hanging in it with different colors. yeah, it's like super super hard stuff, but it was funny.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, and that's what Christmas is about. And by the way, if somebody's watching this that's not a Catholic or a Christian or doesn't celebrate Christmas, really, Christmas is really it means. Obviously, if you're very religious, it's Christ, the birthday of Christ. I 100% I understand that, but really, Christmas is a means to an end because it's about family. Also, it's about tradition. It's
100%.
about so that anybody religious, not religious, atheist, whatever. Jew, Muslim, Hindu, we could all understand that. It's about family coming together, just like if you were celebrating Eid or some other religious holiday that's not Christian related. We can understand that too, because it comes down to really family, and food is about bringing family and friends together. So it really doesn't even matter the holiday. It's always comes down to, obviously, yes, you worship your particular God or tradition, but the other thing that's there, it's so important, really, when it comes down to it, is family, friends, period, no matter what the holiday. So we all can understand that.
Yeah, and that kind of also means like unfortunately, like Christmas holiday, whatever, it's actually a time when people that are lonely, it's really rough for people. So like remember that too, that certain people don't have like the family and support and things like that. So if you know someone that is alone, and like invite them, like that could be that could be a major thing for them, like,
or take them out for lunch or breakfast the day before Christmas Eve or something like that, just to every little, but anyway, so we have a lot to be grateful for. Even if you're alone, you know what, there's things to be grateful for. If you look for it, you can be grateful. If you want to be grateful, if you want to look down and be sad, you can do that too. But anyway, so that's all I got, Magnus. Anything else before we sign off?
No, I mean, like it's fun. Like I think we went through so many, like deep out in a bunch of rabbit holes this time. So but it's fun. I mean, I do enjoy it, and I do enjoy it. Like this year's going to be fun with just like being able to hang out with my wife and her family. So, and then like luckily my mom and my sister came to visit us earlier this year, so I kind of got a good Christmas gift early this year having them.
No, that's awesome, dude. Awesome. Yeah, man. I won't talk to you until next week. So Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Merry Christmas.
Enjoy and happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Guys, hope you're having a great Christmas, all of you. Stay safe. No drinking and driving, please.
Yeah, please don't. So Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year, Happy Festivus for the rest of us. And but yeah, man, that's
still one of the best Seinfeld episodes ever.
That's true, dude. Anyways, thanks everybody. Don't forget, like, subscribe, check out all our stuff, and tell your friend, tell your mom, help us out. All right. Thanks everybody. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye.